Most people planning a Europe trip in 2026 are making the same decision, and it's quietly working against them. They're choosing Italy because they've been told it's the best place to go. Not because they've thought about how they want to travel, but because Italy has always been the answer. Here's the problem. The version of Italy people imagine: slow mornings, empty piazzas, unplanned meals, space to wander, no longer exists at scale. What exists now are entry slots, crowd management routes, and days designed around avoiding other travelers instead of discovering places. Italy didn't get worse, but choosing it by default did. Because when a destination becomes everyone's first choice, it stops being a place you explore and becomes a place you navigate. This video isn't about skipping Italy. It's about recognizing that the experience people go to Italy for has shifted elsewhere. The atmosphere, the pace, the everyday beauty, the feeling that you're allowed to move slowly. In 2026, those things are found more reliably east of where most travelers are looking. And over the next few minutes, we're going to show you 5 places that prove this isn't a compromise. It's a smarter way to travel. If you've ever come back from a dream trip, feeling rushed, tired, or oddly underwhelmed, you're in the right place. We are building the ultimate 2026 alternative roadmap right here. So subscribe if you want the full guide. But for now, let's fix your summer plans. Venice isn't crowded because it's popular. It's crowded because it's fragile. A city built for daily life now has to manage movements. Through routes, schedules, and quiet restrictions that slowly change how it feels to be there. What most people miss isn't the canals. It's the stillness that once came with them. The way water used to shape the rhythm of the day, not the speed of it. You feel it when a delivery boat passes and everyone shifts aside. When footsteps echo instead of fade. And you've been walking in a line without meaning to. That feeling hasn't disappeared. It's just moved further down the coast. Along the Adriatic, the Bay of Kotor folds inward like a held breath. Not dramatic at first glance, but deeply patient. On its quiet edge sits Paris, a town shaped by Venetian tides. where influence remains in the stone. But growth stopped before it became performance. Baroque facades face the water without competing for attention. Nothing angles itself for photos. Nothing asks to be admired quickly. Church bells ring because it's time, not because there's a crowd to gather. You walk the waterfront without weaving. You pause without blocking anyone. You sit without feeling watched, or timed, or quietly pushed along. The bay reveals itself best from the water. A small boat drifts past twin islands. One natural, one made slowly by hand. One of them lets you step ashore. Our Lady of the Rocks. A church built stone by generations who believed the bay would hold their devotion. Inside, everything feels hushed. Not sacred in a grand way, but steady, like something that's never needed to prove itself. You pass old fortifications that once watched the sea carefully. Then the bay opens wide, blue, unforced, expansive. And something happens here. People stop talking. Not because they're told to, but because nothing needs commentary. Back on land, the days remain unstructured. Some afternoons end uphill. Not far, not dramatic. Just enough elevation to see the bay hold its shape. From above, rooftops thin out. Boats look temporary. The water looks permanent. It's a view that doesn't ask you to stay long, only to notice what's already there. Mornings stretch longer than planned. Afternoons dissolve into short swims off stone steps. Evenings arrive quietly. Wine poured without explanation, plates shared without urgency. Most travelers stay close to the water. They walk everywhere because there's nowhere else to go. The food is simple: seafood, bread, olives, wines. You eat not as an experience, but as a habit. And somewhere between one walk and the next, the contrast becomes clear. In Venice, even a brief gondola loop now feels compressed. A short window inside a tightly managed system. Here, water still belongs to the day. Not because this place is trying to be cheaper, but because it never turned water into a spectacle. You don't feel like you found a cheaper Venice. You feel like you found what Venice once was, before it had to protect itself from being loved too loudly. And when you finally leave the coast behind, the land ahead begins to soften into hills. signaling that the next part of the journey will ask you to slow down in a different way. Tuscany still looks like Tuscany. The hills haven't changed. The vineyards still glow at the same angles of light. But the experience has. Wandering has been replaced by schedules. Viewpoints have replaced villages. And silence is now something you reserve, instead of something you arrive at by staying longer than planned. You notice it when a scenic stop has a queue. When a tasting feels rehearsed. When the road you imagined empty has a steady rhythm of rental cars. That slower wine country rhythm hasn't disappeared. It's moved east. In the Palava Hills, vineyards follow limestone ridges naturally, rising and falling without trying to impress. Nothing feels arranged for arrival. You come upon it. Villages appear where trade once mattered, where faith shaped streets, not where postcards demanded symmetry. In Mikulov, days open quietly. Windows first. Walking second. You step out without a plan and return later without having noticed the time pass. Some walks end higher than they begin. Just enough to see vineyards settle into the land, instead of spreading across it. From above, nothing feels curated. Houses cluster where they always have. Fields keep their distance. Wine fits into the day instead of defining it. A glass after a walk. Another after a conversation. No introduction, no explanation. Castles and gardens aren't destinations here. They sit inside daily movement, passed on the way somewhere else, or nowhere at all. To understand the region, you don't move quickly between places. You let distance do the shaping. In the Lednica-Valtitsa cultural landscape, paths were designed for long walks, not short visits. Forest open into gardens. Chateaux appear, then recede again. The space between places does as much work as the places themselves. Wine cellars aren't events. They're punctuations. You step inside briefly. A pour is offered. Someone asks where you're walking next. Not as small talk, but because walking is still how people measure distance here. Not because the wine is lesser, but because it's part of life, not a product. Evenings cool quickly here. The kind that make walking back feel better than leaving early. Meals follow the season. stays are modest and personal. Movement feels intuitive. On foot, by bicycle, by short drives that feel like transitions, not transfers. You don't feel like you're doing Tuscany for less. You feel like you've stepped into what Tuscany once felt like, before it had to explain itself. And as the land ahead begins to rise, the softness gives way to stone, signaling that the next place won't ask for patience, but presence. The Dolomites are still extraordinary. The peaks haven't lost their power. But many valleys now feel organized around efficiency. Parking windows, photo stops, cable cars moving people, instead of letting people move themselves. You notice how quickly a viewpoint fills, how silence lasts only until the next bus arrives. There is another kind of mountain in Europe, one that never scaled up. In northern Albania, the road into Theth National Park isn't just transport. It's a transition. Leaving Shkodor, the climb tightens. Forests close in. The road narrows and begins to demand attention. By the time you arrive, control is no longer the expectation. Stone houses exist because families needed shelter. Paths exist because people walked them. Nothing here was designed to receive you, only to continue. Near the center of the valley, a small stone church and an old tower sit without explanation. Quiet reminders that life here was once communal, not individual. You hike not to collect viewpoints, but to follow the water. Along stone groves shaped by time, across cold rivers that slow your pace naturally, toward the blue eye. Where the stillness feels earned rather than staged. Distances feel longer here. Not on maps, but in your legs. Lunch happens in a guest house kitchen, not a dining room. You eat what's already cooking. Bread is torn by hand. Someone's child runs through, and no one apologizes for the interruption. You sit where there's space. Conversation arrives without introduction. Evenings fall early behind the peaks. The air cools fast. The mountains decide when the day is done. And this is where the contrast becomes clear. Not because comfort is missing, but because nothing here was ever packaged. infrastructure remains basic by design. That's not a drawback. It's a filter. The most common mistake is assuming the mountains will adapt to you. They won't. Weather changes plans. Paths demand patience. And listening matters more than pushing through. When you leave, you don't feel accomplished. You don't feel victorious. You feel quieter, as if something unnecessary was set down along the way. And ahead, water returns. Older now, heavier with time. Lake Como still looks the way people imagine Europe should look. The water reflects perfectly. Villas rise just enough above the shore. Everything feels composed. But that polish comes with distance. Access is controlled. Moments feel measured. Even simplicity arrives with conditions attached. You notice it when a path ends at a gate. When a lakeside bench belongs to a hotel. When swimming requires finding the right place. What many travelers are actually searching for here isn't luxury. It's grandeur without pressure. A lake that feels open, not reserved. That experience exists elsewhere. Lake Ohrid is one of Europe's oldest lakes. Older than most of the mountains around it. And it carries time differently. Here, history doesn't present itself. It stays where it was left. Churches cling to cliffs for protection, not views. The ancient theater waits without signage. The fortress watches without explanation. In Ohrid, you don't plan viewpoints. You arrive at them. From above, the lake doesn't sparkle. It holds. Stone streets narrow, then open suddenly. Light shifts. The lake appears where it always has. A guided walk helps the layers connect. Byzantine, Ottoman, Slavic. Not as a lesson, but as a sequence you move through. The path ends naturally at the water's edge, where swimming feels less like recreation and more like participation. The difference shows up quietly in how little effort the day asks of you. The boardwalk belongs to walkers. The shoreline belongs to whoever arrives first. Water time doesn't require permission. Coffee happens where the view already exists. Sometimes in a plastic chair. Sometimes standing. Always without ceremony. Boats cross the lake because people need to cross it. Not because it completes a scene. Not because unhurried is cheaper. But because it never learned to monetize presence. Days here don't fill themselves. They open. You walk through the old town without a plan. You sit longer than expected. You enter the lake because it's there, not because it's scheduled. Unhurried isn't polished. And that's exactly why it works. You don't feel like a visitor moving through someone else's idealized setting. You feel included in a place that still assumes people are allowed to stay. And as you leave the water behind, the journey turns south again, toward warmth, light, and a coastline that moves to a different rhythm. Amalfi still delivers spectacle. Cliffs rise sharply. Colors hold their intensity. The coastline performs exactly as people imagine it should. But spectacle carries weight. Noise, tension, and a constant negotiation for space. In southern Turkey, Kaş does something different. It listens. White houses step gently toward the water. Bougainvillea climbs without order. Days are shaped by the sea, not traffic. Most days unfold on foot. From the harbor to dinner, without ever thinking about transport. Here, the coast is best understood from a boat. You drift past submerged ruins near Kakova. Slide into quiet coves where engines soften on their own. Then climb later to a hilltop village where the past hasn't been rearranged for arrival. Nothing demands urgency. The shift is simple, but it changes everything. Nothing needs to be negotiated anymore. Stone steps lead straight into the water. Platforms appear where they make sense. You swim because the sea is there, not because a space was reserved. Coffee happens after swimming, not before. Evenings stretch until the light decides otherwise. And as the evening arrives, the harbor fills. Not with crowds, but with neighbors. Access stayed ordinary here. And no one ever thought to charge for that. The surprise isn't the color of the water. It's how little effort the beauty asks of you. Stays remain simple. Food stays unpretentious. Costs stay reasonable because expectations do. You don't leave Kash feeling like you escaped chaos. You leave feeling realigned, as if your pace finally caught up. Italy didn't lose its magic. But in 2026, magic survives where fewer people insist on consuming it. The East, the Balkans, Central Europe, the quieter Mediterranean, still rewards patience. These places work because they never optimized wonder. They protected it. If this journey shifted how you think about travel, consider subscribing. We are building a full roadmap of places that feel human before they feel famous. And if you're curious to explore any of these destinations calmly, we've handpicked the best planning references from Get Your Guide in the description below. Travel doesn't need to be louder to be better. Sometimes it just needs space.